Ruby, welcome. Thanks for coming onto the show.
Thank you for having me, Jeremy.
I was intrigued when I spoke to you the other day at our networking event. So a lot of people are talking about AI and adoption, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are talking about in terms of theory. And when you were telling me about the stuff that you've done, your background, and how unique that is, and what you've already finished, I thought it'd be a good idea to talk and just to get a more practical feel of on the ground where small businesses can use it. So normally the way I like to go through it is, we definitely go through our history. So we build your street cred, where you came from, why should people listen to you? And I usually like to put the pricing question at the start. Mm-hmm. Like, what is it that you're offering? How do people, if they had to get the first bite of the apple, like how do they get in touch? Right.
Yeah, sure.
Because the thing is, I feel like I'm listening to shows where it takes too long before they get to that part. Yeah. And by the time they get to that part, the listener probably thinks, well, I can't afford it anyway. So I want to get that out of the way. So we're not like trying to sneak that into the show. Do you know what I mean? So you're not trying to do that. And at the end, you can tell everyone again. Yeah. What is it that, how do people get hold of you, etc.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Yeah, so people can get hold of me through my website, rubystrategic.co. And I offer a free 15-minute consultation. And from there, the consultation will be $300 per hour. And then usually when they start engaging with me, I'll do a proof of concept project with them for about $3,000. Yeah. And then from there, we can do phased projects. Usually is about $30,000.
Yep, sounds good. And then if we can call out a target market today, so who do we really want to be talking to today?
Mortgage brokers.
Mortgage brokers.
Yeah, the owners of mortgage brokerages, ideally having more than 5 staff members.
Right. So in a typical mortgage broking business, what's the setup? You got the owner who usually was a mortgage broker, him or herself, right? And then they got too busy, hired like a staff. Usually is it local VA? Is it?
Yeah, usually they will have a couple of brokers themselves in Australia onshore, and then they also have support over in Philippines, Nepal, or India.
Okay, that's a usual setup. Yeah, and they grow from there, kind of thing.
Yes, correct.
And then I know that. So going into your history, your history is actually like I can't tell when I see here look at you, but you were saying how you done like implementation, and you were the GM for how many staff was it? A massive team.
Yeah, the company is actually about 350 people, and I was the general manager of operations. Yeah. So I don't deal much with the sales and marketing side of things, but everything that to do with operations, such as finance, customer service, HR, data, tech, IT, that's all under my remit.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So all of these departments, different personalities, different things. And
onshore, offshore.
Combining. So your strength and your angle coming into this AI game, because there's so many people doing it, right? But your angle is really is it transformation? Is it?
Yeah, so it's more like from the leadership team point of view, because since I'm the leader in the business and I get to see the business problems and I get to see the pain point, and I know what sort of problem that I want to solve, and then combine with my knowledge of AI and put it together to provide a solution.
The project that you did work on over there, and many others after, I'm sure, but that particular one was about introducing AI, or was it?
No, can I tell you the
story?
Yeah. Okay. So this is back in 2023. Yeah. When ChatGPT came about, and then there's a lot of hype about AI, and all the business owners were like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna die!" And in 12 months, because AI is taking over, we have to do something about AI. And at that time, the leaders was like frantic, and then the first thing they did was we're gonna hire a head of AI, which a lot of businesses do, which they did. But then the head of AI was very focused on tech side of things, and so then the first implementation was not it went nowhere. Yep. So then that became my problem because I was the general manager, even though I didn't have much of an AI tech background. Mm-hmm. So then I thought, let's use the first principle thinking. Yeah. Let's go back to the basics. What sort of problems that in the business that we think AI could solve. So I learned some basic stuff for what AI can do, right? There's the natural language processing, which is ChatGPT. And then there's, the visual, the vision can read documents and stuff. So then I come back to the business problem. What sort of problems that we're facing at that time? It was a lot of repetitive questions like customers asking, and that's taking up our human customer service a lot of time. So that company is a real estate company, and then the clients constantly asking, when is my property settling? When is my land settling? Then I thought, okay, let's try to get AI to solve this problem. So then I went ahead and then think, okay, so what sort of team members I need? I need AI developers. I need data people. And I need like a kind of like a portal developer to develop an interface that the client can interact with the AI. So I assemble a team and then I say, give me like a proof of concept or MVP, minimum viable product. And then from there, so they gave me the minimum viable product that could answer that question. So the AI we had an OpenAI enterprise grade account and that can access to the language model. And then we also connect with a data warehouse that's got our property information. And then we build an interface. And the whole lot allows the AI to interact with the clients based on the actual property information and give them the data of when is their property settled, because that date actually varies. It changes. So
with the head of AI, when they came in, right? Like, so when you're talking about data warehouse, when you're talking about putting a team together and who to hire, etc., right? Like, I'm sure, no, I shouldn't ask this way. Maybe there's a different way to ask. So in terms of the person who was more on the techie side, I mean, they would have left some remnants of ideas for you to work towards, right? Like you couldn't have started from zero, because you would have saw the good things they've done. You're like, well, they haven't put the right team together. They're not considering the human factor of it, or they don't know the business well enough.
He did like he's very passionate about AI. And that's kind of like a bug I caught, because initially I didn't know anything about AI. Right? I mean, it's quite a new concept. And then he was passionate about it.
It's early.
That's
early. That's very, very early.
That's when ChatGPT just came out,
just released, So when you were putting together the people, when you were saying, the repetitive questions, all that, like how much buy-in did you have to get from the people? Was that where the breakdown was, with when it's like, when you hire someone that's super techie?
I think the biggest obstacle for the tech head of AI was he just came in, he just got hired. He doesn't even understand what we're doing as a business.
And
then that's actually a long learning curve.
Yes.
Where I was
operations.
I was hired by that business in 2020. And I started off as a head of finance. And start off like doing cash flow forecasting. I had to learn every aspect of the business. And I know where the bottleneck is. So that took away a lot of learning.
So in your implementation of going forward for Ruby Strategic, is that the angle you're going with? Like, are you recommending people do it internally? Like, is that the angle you're gonna spot the opportunities for them, and then, because you can't know a business like they do as well.
That's a very good question, Jeremy. So, I mean, a lot of business problems, you can go back to first principle thinking, right? So I would be working closely with them, because a lot of businesses, they might be lacking that particular person that's understand operations and also understand tech. And if you think about business people like a red color and tech people are blue, they're very logical. Business people are very passionate. I think I'm kind of like a purple in between, so I can translate for each other.
So your role as in your engagement, like your value proposition is more like you are going to do a bit of, I don't know what the right word is, but like mentoring, coaching kind of thing? Like
consulting. I will always consult from the beginning, and my consultation would always be starting from the business problems. And a lot of business problems are very similar, especially if it's within the same niche. Right? So So it's usually is like customer service and, like there's a lot of repetitions and so I would be asking the questions of to the business owner, like where is your time go? Like where do you think it's not adding value? And that's really repetitive.
In your case study, and in your case studies that I went through, there was talking about the guardrails you put on for the AI, right? Like there's I'm going from memory now. So one of the things was every time a question is answered, there's transparency into the broker knows about it, right? And there's also the next day you get to review it and they get to escalate it, right? Okay, so just say a mortgage broking business. One of the quick common questions goes, where's my loan at? Is it unconditional, etc. Right? I don't know. I don't pretend to know about mortgage broking. I've taken out like one loan or two loans. So to me, that's all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going to challenge. Okay, and I'm sorry if this comes off like I'm trying to start a fight because I'm not. Right?
Okay.
So if I ask the first question, right, and now I'm going to ask follow-up questions, like, well, why is it taking so long? Why are you missing any documents from me? Like, can you tell me, when I submitted 2026 tax returns, did that get approved? Like, where are we? I have to talk to my broker. Do you know what I mean? I want to hear the voice. I want to hear the certainty of it. And I think when a business goes to like the 300-man head of operations, head of finance, yeah, cool. Like, they're going to need that system. But for like a 5-man team, do you still see it? Do you still see it? Real talk.
Yeah, so like for a smaller businesses, like I do talk to those business owners and then they don't feel comfortable for AI to engage directly with the clients, which I think is totally fine. Like I'm not avoiding that question because sometimes I don't suggest them to use AI.
Okay. Yeah.
If it's like for a smaller business, your brand is yourself.
Yes.
And you want to have that personal touch.
Yes.
Right. And then if the business owner doesn't feel comfortable with that, then I don't push them to have to adopt AI for customer service side.
Yeah.
Then I say, let's look at the workflow. Let's look at the paperwork.
Yeah.
Like there's another mortgage brokering business that we're currently looking at, talking to in Melbourne. They've got about 10 staff members. And then he's like, I don't feel comfortable for AI to talk to my customers. Doesn't matter if it's in a website format or calling. So then I said, okay, how about anything to do your workflow that's taking up a lot of your time? He's like, yeah, so my staff is saying compliance. We spend a lot of time checking the pay slips and bank statement. And then I say, okay, so we don't have to use the natural language processing ability of AI. Then we can use the vision, the optical side for the AI to read the document and then we can build the logic to find out what is not adding up, because some people fake their payslip. They get AI to make a fake payslip.
Yes.
And then we use AI to pick up
to figure
those
stuff
things.
out.
Yeah.
Okay, so surely like there must be so many people rushing to do what you're doing. I know you got programs here, you got stuff that you're working on, and people are probably even faster than what you're doing, right? And they probably already started in 2000, long time ago. Whatever,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, like when I sit across you, like the difference is you. Do you know what I mean? Like I want to talk to you. I want the person to be like, if anyone engages you, they'll want you, right?
Yeah.
And do you think out of the box solution can overtake what you're doing? Because I'm sure someone's working on that now. They try to do one for the mortgage broker. They try to be the authoritative tool for mortgage broker industry.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what you're aiming for or not really?
No, I don't want to aim to build tools like out of box solutions because that needs a lot of money. A lot of funding.
Okay. I don't know anything about the development. Okay, cool. Right. So
developing a product needs a lot of money, and then I don't want to go out there and asking for fundings. But where we specialize is the people can come to me and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about using this tool." There's actually a lot of AI tools for mortgage brokering, and I'm not aiming to cover everything. And then the good thing is about those tools, they've solved very specific problems. Some of them is like talking about policies. And I'm not an expert of policy because I'm not a broker myself. Yeah. So then I can give them consultation of, okay, here is your stack of tools. How do you make the best use of it?
I think, I seriously think that is top value. I'm not even joking because I know that in the marketing world, every day, you got these tiles. They look like game like tokens.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's like 16 of them. Some people might get excited looking at that. I don't think small businesses do, because that means whatever they were using is probably outdated. They're thinking, well, like they will go to sleep thinking, well, every day, like, is there a better tool to replace my tool?
Yeah.
You know, and somebody has to be on the other end, unbiased, telling them about that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Somebody has to tell them. And I think even on the drive here, I think that is where the most value is added. Like ongoingly telling them what's out there, telling them what's already replaced whatever they're currently using.
Yeah.
That's that level of discernment and your industry expertise is going to be the winner. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm not ambitious of building my own tools, because there's already a lot out of there.
So you're just testing a lot of it? You're talking to a lot of people around that stuff?
I don't test proactively until some brokers is asking me about it.
So you meet the problem first.
Yeah,
and then you get a practical.
Yeah, exactly. I stay grounded in terms of business problem. I always know what I'm representing. Like we are business people. Like we're representing like business, helping them solving business problems. So me also in very small micro business and dealing with small businesses a lot, right? So a lot of what you're saying is professional services, right? Can this work for blue collar at a certain size? Yeah, like definitely. So like you're talking about tradies and I think they need more help because they generally don't have time to. I was talking to a removalist this morning before I came here actually. So they just don't have time to think about systems and softwares. So I come in more holistically. So I know that this may be like we're moving away a bit from AI, but I think the AI is the tip of the iceberg. Underneath it is your data, your system, and your people. So you need to look at them all together. So I was like saying I provide consultation holistically. And sometimes people come to me asking me an AI question. And then that actually exposes a lot about other things in their business. Just like one of your blog posts is talking about, like you need to make sure that your process is in alignment. Your data is clean for you to make the most use of the AI, right? So for blue collars, I feel like they either don't have a system, or the system is messy, or they have they sign up to a lot of apps. And now they all tangled.
The reason they're doing a lot of that is they don't have the time to do that, right? And also like their mentality compared to us sitting in an office, not sitting in an office, but like white collar, right? We're more settled, conversation, coffee. It's like they're brutes, man. Like these people cannot sit still. There's a lot of swearing. There's a lot of like skepticism. Right? They look at you not like, they say, well, what are you in this for, right? What are you getting out of this? Like and a lot of time, especially tradies, it's their own money. Right. So it's their own money. So they're not managing other people's money. Do you know what I mean? So margins are huge. I think that's why they act the way they act. And I think that, I drew two circles here because I think that there's it's AI and that's where you're coming in as, but you're also like doing more of a broader business consulting kind of thing, right? That's where the Venn diagram overlaps. Are you comfortable with that? Like, you okay with that area? Because, I mean, you got an accounting background and everything, which helps a lot, right? Because you know what you're talking about. You know the books, you know all of that stuff, right? And you had head of operations, which is massive. So when you're consulting, do you feel comfortable moving away from AI and it's more business?
I actually don't feel comfortable to go straight to AI without looking at this system because, again, if we use the iceberg analogy, like you cannot have AI floating with no ground, with no foundation. And then I think there are a lot of AI experts feel comfortable of just selling them a tool and have a quick transaction. But I'm more for long term, and I say that AI is trained on your business data, right? And where does the data come from? You collect it with your system, which is CRM and all of that. And if you don't have those foundation, then what you're using AI for is just a bit like a question and answer with ChatGPT, and you're not fully utilizing the power of AI. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to give you a holistic solution. So if I think that AI is not right for you right now, then I'll tell you. I say, okay, let's look at your data first. Let's sort it out. Let's look at your system first.
Like a roadmap for them.
Yeah, like exactly.
You'll create a roadmap. Yeah.
I
have very much the same problem, right? Because I do advertising, and when you go to businesses, and I know that there's a lot of notes we have here about more of like the maturity of the business, right? So the problem that I go into when I go work with blue collar is like they might not ever get to that maturity. You can't hang around because you got stuff to do, right? And you can't be the consultant while they're getting there. Do you know what I mean? So the business owners like that, they got 4 or 5 vans on the road, and they might be also blue collar, very busy, quick lunches. Like, how do we get that data game going? Do you have a methodology for it? Like recommendations?
Yeah. Then I'll start with, the CRM. Do they have a CRM, right? So then if they don't have a CRM, I'll ask them to get a CRM, and then my team can help implement.
Okay, that's where the team comes in.
Yeah.
So they don't have to do a lot of it themselves. So
correct.
It's getting it in place for them, making it easy for them.
Yeah.
And then they can say like, all right, so this is the SOP.
Yeah.
Every time you do a job, do this.
Yeah, because I don't see myself as like just pure consulting and just talk, and then here's the plan, you go implement
so
it. Like
your people comes in and helps some of it. Okay, so that's a different value prop. Okay, cool. So let's not use a real example like the remove list, right? Let's use a hypothetical. Like, can you give me an example how people eventually make use of a CRM, like a small business? Yeah, with AI, yeah.
Yeah, like if people are starting to considering that, I want to scale my business, I want to grow, and then they would have marketing activities, whether it's to engage professionals like you or not. And then when the leads come in, then you need to put the leads somewhere, right? You need to have a client management system to be able to track them, follow them up, and then also have track the stats as well, like how long does it take to convert, and what's your sales velocity, and who referred to you, and what are the other services that you can sell them.
Yes.
And that's all the power of CRM.
Yes.
And take HubSpot, for example, and also Go High Level.
Yeah.
Those are the CRM that we normally recommending to clients.
Yeah.
Then we also then connect the CRM to a data warehouse in the cloud. It could be Azure or Google Cloud.
Yeah.
Then we do a lot of analysis for them about the business stats.
Let's just give practical example. Let me say this again. Let's not use a like obscure example where it's a very small business. Let's say it's good size, right? 3,000 people on the email list, right? Pretty clean data. Who referred them? Where they get it from? What's the average monthly, invoice? How long do they usually stay before they churn, for example, right? And what's the current, intake? Cold leads, lead time from lead to sale. So just say that's all organizing the data warehouse already, right? So the AI will come in like your thing. Like I'm trying to ask where do you add your value compared to someone who's trying to do it on cheap, try to do DIY stuff.
Yeah, so I can give you one example of a real estate agency in Queens, Gold Coast that we're helping. So they have a database of 50,000 people, and then their goal is to be able to outreach to them and ask them if they want to sell their house.
Yes.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's the proposition. So then what we did is they CRM is called Rex, which is a very standard real estate software.
Yep.
So then we connect that with a data warehouse and we clean the data. And then we use AI to send out text messages to have a natural conversation with the prospecting seller, and then say, hey, we're about to sell this house in your street. Would you like to be in the loop about how much it's going to be sold for? And then have a conversation from there. And usually they either be replying, interested or not interested. And then the human agent will call based on the interest level. And our AI is also assessing the sentiment of the responses as well. And then give them a scoring of, hey, call this person first. Right?
Prioritizing. So, temperature checking and prioritizing.
Exactly. So then you have, as you can see, that's several items.
Big time,
together. So you have the AI component, which is what they come to us for. But then we start off with the CRM, and then we also have the data warehouse, and then the AI components as well. Right. Cool. And all the answers, again, it comes back to the warehouse that we store that. And that's the chat history is a good asset to the business. So this is the custom AI solution that I make, a typical project I make for our clients. Then I say that the reason that, because initially they wanted to buy Rita, which is the third-party software that's made by Cotality. And I said, I'm not against you buying it. You can buy all sorts of tools. We can also help you implement. But if you want to future-proof your business, because they initially came to us that saying, how do we survive in the age of AI? I said, then you need to have a customized AI for your own business. And that can be your moat, because this AI will be trained on your data. So data,
not just the thing,
because if you use a third-party product, your data goes to their their data warehouse. Where I build a data warehouse for you.
Sandbox. I can see it.
And then all your data, the chat history will be in that. In there,
I can see. I can see as you're talking. My head's going to like scripts, effective scripts. Training, right? Because some brokers are better at calling time to call, time from if AI is telling you this is urgent, this is good, and you're calling like 8 hours later, I'm gonna know because I got the AI tools to analyze what is he doing. I can train, I can promote, I can find out reasoning, I can find out the words, the time that they should have interjected or something like that during a conversation. I can use it all for training. I can absolutely use that. Once, I can't see it for the remove list yet, but once you finish that job, I'd love to chat to you and then tell me, like, you know what I mean? It's different. This is massive. Like, you know what I mean? This is massive database where the other ones you'll be using a different way. And I'm fully with you about this. So we touched on several things I want to touch, which is the how SMEs used, how we're measuring, how like success is, which is very easy, how we're measuring, and how your solutions, custom solution, and your value prop. So the last thing I want to touch on is the people aspect of it, right? Because I was talking to my friend who works in a pretty high place in AI, and he's explaining to me that it depends who you're talking to in the business. Is your success of adoption. If the person feels like this is gonna get rid of me, like why would he be on board, dude? You know what I mean? Like why would he talking away? Why would he just like he's got the boss's ear. Do you know what I mean? Like he's not gonna. The boss doesn't always have time to talk to you, so you've been delegated to one of his people, AI, the head of AI, and if they suspect that things gonna change a lot, they might not be comfortable with it. And when I was reading your bio and your posts, sometimes you did have to move people on during your last role, right? You had to promote people who deserve the shine, deserve the daylight, and some people who weren't on board, who were no longer aligned, had to be moved on. Right. So on a people aspect, how do you see yourself navigating this in small business? I
think AI is not just about the tech and the tools. It's more about the cultural change and the people management. It's a change management. It's a process, actually. So you're exactly right. If the people resist it, then it's not going to go anywhere. It doesn't matter how much time you paid for consulting and get a fabulous PowerPoint presentation. It's those money is all going to be wasted.
We have to get buying, but
exactly. So before you do anything, like we have something called project sponsor. So from the leadership team. So first of all, somebody in the leadership have to want to do this. Right? Because they pay the check. And then they are responsible for the ROI of this project. And then they also responsible for communicating to the staff member why they want to do it. Right. So it's a bit easier if internally. So then when I was a general manager, I communicate. Right.
Correct,
But then when you are a external person, then I need my twin within the business. Right. And we have to see eye to eye. So a lot of those work is done in feasibility study. I wouldn't take on a project if there is no buy-in. If I feel like the chance of this project failure rate is pretty high, then I wouldn't want to take it. So there are some people, they come to me because they are forced by their boss. And I could tell. I'm like, you're not really interested in getting this off the ground. You just want to tick the box, do you?
But then that's not good. It's not a good engagement.
Exactly. Then we're just not going to go ahead.
Right.
And then, so the internal person, which is my twin, they have to have all these change management meetings with the team and then just say, hey, you have to get onto it, and what's the benefit? Not like in the threatening way, because a lot of things that are like a lot of clients that I engage with is they want more capacity. Right? They don't need to fire people, but they want to take on more. They want to keep the
same people, but they want to do more with the people.
Exactly. So then just be transparent. But if somebody says, hey, like, I want to do this so I can fire 100 people, then I'm like, it doesn't sit well with me.
That doesn't sit well either. Can I just say something? This is, and as we wrap up, and I'd love for you to promote your thing again, but I just want to say this. How, like, would you say your current business, right? Would you still say it's in like the earlier phase of things as you're building up?
It is early in terms of like, I feel like the market is still trying to suss out about AI. But in terms of the maturity of our tech, our people, some people our team has been with machine learning ever since 2016. Back then, they don't call it AI. Now they call it AI.
They call a lot of
that. So our tech maturity and also my implementation skills, because I led so many projects in the previous company.
It's not new, right?
So I'm very confident and comfortable with it, but the market, because there is a lot of AI hype and they're confused about do I buy a tool and then just
it's a lot of education, a lot of noise, hard to get cut through. And I feel like my point is, I feel like, you know how you got criteria, right? Before you work with them, there has to be certain things, because success rate, right? Why would you want to do something and failure and all that? I think that I have the same problem. Okay, I have the same problem when I first started, right? Many years ago. So I'll have to take on some jobs I didn't really want to take on. You know what I mean? And I feel like if you put too many conditions, it's like, because people out there, they'll take on anything. Do you know what I mean? And then they would have got them. Maybe it'll work, maybe it wouldn't, but that is burnt forever. Do you know what I mean? Like if they go with a cowboy, like if your remove list doesn't go with you, but go with a cowboy, and they implement some out of the box and doesn't work, like that guy's done with AI forever, man. Like he's, you know what I mean? So we lost that lead and they got a bad experience. So sometimes I think we have to take a bit more risk of the success rate thing. That's what I think.
I know. Maybe like I felt like I'm a bit laid back. I think I need to be a bit more aggressive, because there are some people came to me, they already got burnt. There's one client was like already burned several $100,000 on somebody who just being irresponsible, like get this, get that. And then he was like saying AI, agentic AI and Web3 blockchain. And then they just keep on. That's another thing I would like the audience to know is if somebody come to you with all these fancy terms and there's nothing underneath and you sense it's too good to be true and highly likely it's too good to be true.
100%. That's why I think I wanted to start with the street cred. What is it you're working on? Do you know what I mean? Like, where's the world have you practically touched on, like with your own hands and all that? And that's why I think that's very important. Look, in my industry, same thing. SEO, you know, many years ago was the exact same thing. And a lot of it is hype. But cool, man. Like, I think we really covered off everything. Is there anything that you feel like we didn't cover that well?
I think I just would like to go deeper on this anxiety about AI. There's a lot of small businesses owners. They talk about like, oh, is my business going to disappear in 3 or 5 years? And look, we don't know what the future is going to be like. But what you can do at this stage is to build your moat, right? And your data is your moat. Your process is your moat. And how do you future-proof for that? And you want to build your asset, your data warehouse, your CRM, your system, your processes, and you want to have a customized AI that's trained on your own data. So those are the things that I would like the business owners to start thinking about. I know some of them, like if you're just by yourself, you have 1 or 2 team members, maybe that's too much for you. But the moment you get to 5, 10 people, instead of just thinking about buying tools, you need to think about have your own AI.
So you mentioned having the moat in terms of data warehousing, their own data processes. I would even add as people.
Exactly.
People. I think they have to. I think they have good people. I have a team of 10. I really can't see myself, and AI has really, really affected marketing, right? For me, luckily in a good way, because they got rid of the copywriters and all that, right? Because AI is a language model. It's getting better analysis, it's getting quicker. But I can't see removing of the team. I think I want to upskill them.
Yeah.
So they're fully in the game. Do you know what I mean? Fully in the game of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good point. Yeah. Why don't you tell the people where they can find you and how they can engage with you again in case they, want to talk more.
Yeah. Yeah, so they can just find me on my website, rubystrategic.co, or I'm also active on LinkedIn.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And when they get engaged with you, they can start with a 15-minute consultation just to make sure it's a good fit.
Yeah.
If they want to do a longer one, they're looking at 300 plus GST. Chat to you for an hour, and then the process is from there. You can actually build out a proof of concept for them.
Yes.
Investigate the situation, proof of concept.
Yeah.
And then they can either go ahead or they can abandon from that point.
Exactly.
And it's still a small investment.
Yeah. Proof of concept is normally 2 weeks to 3 weeks, and then they can see how we work, and we can also suss out how they work.
That's very important, I think, to see, because then they're seeing action. All the gloss is gone. They're spending a lot more time with you just to make sure they're comfortable. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. Yeah. Amazing, man. Well, I really appreciate coming on the show. See if we can touch base again in 6 months or whatever. See what you got working on.
Awesome.
Cool. Amazing.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.